we're checking out a couple systems here. Here's a Rheem 15 seer system, I think it is, from 2009 or 10. We had our power wires from the Duke Energy box here laying right across the top, sandwiched between this and the metal top. Not a real good idea, even though it's gasketed here. The top is not, and it could definitely short out against the top. So there's already a screw hole here, so I just opened it up. So all we have to do is take it inside this hole to tie it in. So simple steps, definitely a lot safer, and a really common error from the power company. Guys, I'm just checking the capacitor here. Dual run capacitor is 37.5. It was fine. It's our contactor, dual run capacitor. Got transformer outside because this can be used as a communicating system as well. There's our board for the outdoor unit. You have our communicating terminals up here, evolution, whatever, and our regular 24 volts connections there. We're going to go inside and check the indoor unit, see the heat strips are coming on and all that, and then we'll come back out here and run both of these systems for a little while. I'm glad I can smell the heat strips running because there's a table in front of the door. I guess I'm going to have to muscle it out of the way. Guys, we're up at the Rheem air handler. It is an ECM motor, 15 seer. The heat strips are on like they are supposed to be, which is good. We're going to take that heat strip amperage and the voltage, subtract out the blower amperage, and see if we can't get a rough CFM from our electric heat. Our ECM blower is running at 0.8 amps. With the door on, it'll actually go up. And I actually slid the door into place except for a small section here where the meter was, kind of sandwiched it in place. So we're going to go with a 1 amp. So we're running about 38 amps right now as far as heat strips. We'll take that and get our voltage, then we can multiply that out to get our watts. Our voltage is 241.2 here. Guys, I have an I-manifold probe around the corner from the heat strips here. I have one inside the machine and then return in. And what I'm doing, taking measurements, we have, let's see if I can get closer. See if we can get focused. We have the total voltage of the heating elements at 241.2, the total amperage, 38, 9166 watts. We go in to capture the active data, and all that means is the I-manifold app is capturing data from the machine. We can go ahead and do that again, 1354. As the temperature goes up, I'm gonna let it keep going. That airflow will go down. If the temperature split is lower, it's because there's excessive airflow, but I'm still letting the machine balance out. But right now it says 1354. We'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll check it again. It's not too far off. We have a 3-ton machine and we are running auxiliary heat with the heat pump theoretically, although the heat pump shut off outside. So it is going to be the highest amount of airflow typically heat pumps run, which is all the stages of heat running. As you see the probe I put around the corner here, one of the things that Jim Bergman was mentioning about the probes is the effect of some of our heating and cooling sources like the coil, the heat exchanger, the heat strips, how they have a radiant effect sometimes, and if you put the probe too close to them, it'll affect your temperature split. So I'm trying to take that into consideration by moving it out of a little bit farther down the stream and out of the line of sight. Like radiant energy, you've all sat in front of fireplaces, and of course your front side that's facing the fireplace is burning up, but your back side is cool still because it's radiant energy. So same effect here, we're trying to avoid that. So I thought I'd put that in there, sort of pass this information along. We seem to have settled out at 1337. Guys, we're up at our Bryant variable speed air handler. I'm going to open the door and check our electric heat the same way we did our Rheem upstairs. So I'm going to get it all set up and then I'll show you guys. Guys, this is why we do preventive maintenance. We see 19.3 amps. Now this is a 4-ton system with 10 kW on it. On 4 tons you typically use 10 or 15. Some other locations of the country which are a little bit colder than this, you might actually use 15. But for here, I found that 10 works pretty good for me. And it overcomes defrost just fine. Haven't had any issues with that sort of thing. That's sort of a different debate. So we know there's only one bank of the heat strips on. And I looked inside there all of a sudden, and I looked in there and I see on that relay, I'm gonna hold it real still so I can highlight it. You can see that there's no wire on it. And I looked around and I looked inside there and I could see, it's hard to see down in there, but the wire is actually dangling. So we need to turn this off right away, get that thing plugged in right, and check it again. You can look down in there, it's hard for me to get my hand in there. Look at that. Look at that. fell off. So we're going to plug this back in up here. See, these come from a spool of black wires that go right to the main lugs. So we're going to go put this one back on position here. Very loose. Let me tighten it up. Kind of crimp this fitting down real quick. She's on there tight now. So let's start her back up. Check the amperage. Well, God bless America. Preventive maintenance saves the day again. We have all heat strips on. In fact, you can see them. Turn this off. You can see the light from the heat strips in there if you look real close. Kind of hard to see, but you can see faintly up there. So we're going to close the door and do a little CFM test, and then we'll head outside to check the charge or just monitor the charge more in heating. Cooling, I do a more comprehensive check, and heating, I just want to make sure it's close to where it should be. We'll say it like that. Right now we're doing around 1971 CFM, so a good amount of airflow. Again, it's the highest amount of airflow we're going to use because we have a heat pump running in heat with auxiliary running, so it's going to be the most airflow it uses because it's going to be moving a lot of heat with both of those items going, the compressor and the strips themselves, because there's 10 kW there. 10 kW, you're looking about 3 tons worth of heating, 36,000 BTUs or so nominal. A little bit less than that, but the idea is a lot of heat moving through there. Counting the 4 tons of heat, think of it as like 7 tons, to put it very simply. You see on the Rheem we have a C flashing. Let's see, our C flashing is an anti-short cycle timer. The solution is wait your ass for the timer to be done. Got the Bryant here, 333/90. It's coming back up now. It just started a second ago, so it's going to rise back up. We have our discharge line temperature 149. Outdoor air 63 this morning. It's warmed up a little bit. Over on the other, we have our smart tool on the Rheem. We'll go check it in just a second. We'll let this one build back pressure until it gets to its stable point. The Rheem here, you can see, has 11 degrees subcooling, 19 degrees superheat. Looks real good. 379/127. Everything's looking really good for the Rheem. It's been running here for about 10 or 15 minutes. ECM fan motor on top. Standard single stage compressor matched up with a variable speed air handler.